back on Earth. But where was the water? She and Lex had searched hundreds of fissures, but they were all dry. Dry as the rest of Mars. "Okay, Lex, here's another one." Valkerie bit into the butterfly valve of her water bag and took a reluctant swallow of sweat sock-flavored water. "How's it look?" Geologist Alexis Ota's voice crackled over the comm speakers. "Good enough. Pull the rover all the way up." Valkerie pointed to a line 2 meters back from the 400-meter drop-off. The 6-ton rover inched forward, climbing over rocks and small boulders like a monster truck at a redneck fair. Only in this case, the rover was more of a monster minivan, with a laboratory, airlock, and bunks to sleep 4. "Okay, that's good." Valkerie waved at the rover's gold-tinted windshield. The rover shuddered to a halt and sank down on its hydraulic suspension. "I've got this one." Lex's voice sounded in Valkyrie's helmet, followed by bumpings and thumpings as she made her way to the back of the rover. "Out in a second." Valkerie flipped open an external storage hatch and pulled out a tool bag. The puttering of the compressor motors faded to nothing as Lex evacuated the airlock. 9 months on Mars, and already the pump valves were wheezing. She'd have to mention that to Bob. "No." Valkerie took a deep breath. She could look at them herself. Bob had enough to worry about right now. The last thing he needed was more whining from her. She'd caused him enough pain already. A gloved hand clasped Valkyrie's shoulder. "You okay?" Valkerie rocked back and forth in a slow nod. "Want the mole bot?" Lex shrugged. "Let's get it out just in case." The 2 women hoisted the badger-like digging robot from its bin and eased it to the ground. On Earth, it weighed almost 60 pounds. Here on Mars, barely 20. Lex strapped the winch controller to her wrist, while Valkerie attached the cable to Lex's rappelling harness. "Okay, go." Lex backed toward the drop-off, pulling the line from the rover's winch taut. Valkerie flipped a switch and watched Lex disappear backward over the edge. She stayed by the winch controls, not bothering to watch Lex's progress. She'd call if she needed anything. Valkerie shifted her weight from one leg to the other and, using the mirror on her wrist, checked the gauge on her chest. 1 more hour and they'd call it a day. Then home for an obligatory evening of awkwardness, and the whole thing would start back over again. 296 days to go. How was she ever going to make it? Bob was so... She stomped her foot to shake out a cramp. Didn't he know what he was doing to her? They were astronauts. They had a job to do. The whole world was watching. NASA hadn't paid $50 billion so she could let her guard down. What a... "Val!" Lex's frantic voice blared in Valkyrie's helmet. Startled, Valkerie peered over the edge. "What's wrong? Hit another patch of send down the mole and a bigger pick." "What, did you find something?" Valkerie squinted at her friend. "What is it, more sedimentary rock?" "Salt deposits. I can't believe it. In a depression. This is... it's a ledge, really, not very big, but it's... Val, I need the brush set and... A depression?" Valkyrie's heart slammed into overdrive. "At the top of the fissure?" "It only goes back a couple of feet, but it's crusted with salt deposits, and... Val, we don't have much time. Send down the tools." Valkerie scrambled to the side of the rover and pulled out the remote control for the mole. She strapped it to her arm with trembling fingers and worked the miniature joysticks to guide the small robot to the edge of the canyon. A torch